Hello and welcome to yet another Monday Memo from St. John's Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor David Glesney. It's great to have you join us this week. A couple of updates coming up. I know things are very busy, but you may want to take some time to pause and reflect from running here and running there and programming this and programming that. I invite you to do that at your home through devotions. That's a wonderful way to do that. If you'd like to gather with us on Wednesday evenings, you can do that for hold an evening prayer and a time of learning and reflection and some skits by our junior high kids. You can do that hanging out with other friends at Coffee Husset or our Thursday morning Bible study. You're welcome to join us in any of those things as well, and in our weekend worship service. Now, this Advent, we are looking through a series called The Promises of God. And we'll get back to that in a second. But one of the things I'd like to invite you to join us for is if this season is not quite as jolly as you'd like it to be, we do have a Blue Christmas service on the 15th of December. It's a time of reflection, a little more solemn in its nature, but still pointing out the love and companionship of God, even in our deepest, darkest times. And you are encouraged to join us just to sit and to be in God's presence during that time. During the morning of that day, we also have our cantata at our 8:30 service, so you're invited to join us for that. And any of those other things I've mentioned, if you go to our website, you can find information about those things. But this Advent, we continue to focus in on the promises of Advent. The first week, we took a look at Jeremiah and the promise of hope. This last week was the promise of comfort in God's deep love for us, so the promise of love. And in the week to come, this coming week, we'll be reading from Ezra, not something we normally do, but Ezra is this unique passage where they have returned from exile and are now coming together as the family of God, that those who are older are thinking about their past, those who are younger are thinking about their future, and yet they live in the midst of everyday stuff, which just kind of goes to our theme that was for our stewardship focus this year, which I think kind of works well because the Christian life is really found. This is God's story and our story and where they meet yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And this Sunday, we meet in a place of joy, but a little bittersweet yet, even. Joy is not happy, happy, happy necessarily. Joy is more of a deep down feeling. And we'll talk a little bit about that this Sunday as we gather together for worship. As I mentioned, you're invited to join us for Christmas Eve services. Those times are a little different, noon, 2, 4, 5:30, and 7. And every weekend, you're welcome to join us on Saturday nights at 5 o'clock, Sunday morning for a traditional service at 8:30, and Community of Joy services at 9:45 and 11 o'clock. May God bless your Advent preparation. May you live in the promise of Advent, of God's hope, love, and this week, God's joy. Look forward to seeing you around. God bless.